that part. Getting real data from Amazon side is like blessing to us.
Big time.
So yeah, another thing, I would like to be honest here. Either me or you or every Amazon
Traffic to those listings to boost it, to like amplify it, to like send all the positive signals. So yeah, PPC is like one tool in an overall tool set that people really need to focus on. We think we should have more. So let's go do a bunch of activities. So like, let's go do, push it in a top of search.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's show. So today I have a very special guest with me. Now, he have probably done interviews with every single Amazon experts out there, but today I am going to interview him. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Mr. Michael Erickson here. Hi,
What is
Michael. Thanks for joining.
What's up, Sammy? I am privileged to be here. Thanks so much for having me, and looking forward to it.
Yeah, that's great. So, ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to discuss everything, all thing about Amazon today. So, before we jump into the session and discuss more about that, why not just do a quick introduction about who is Michael Erickson?
Ooh, that's a deep question, Sammy. That's a deep. Who am I? What's what we're all searching for? No, I am just but a humble PPC person. I started optimizing PPC campaigns like 10 years ago, primarily on Google Ads way back when. I was doing Google Ads, Facebook ads, and I was super lucky like 10 years ago to have a client who was like an early mover on Amazon. They're like, you know what, let's give this Amazon thing a try. And this was like 2010. And I'm super grateful for it because it sort of opened me up to Amazon. I feel like combining like the experience that I had on other platforms into Amazon, and like, of course, it got more and more popular every year, put me in a cool spot. So in 2017, I started Ad Badger and started podcasting way back when. So it's like, we're 200 episodes deep on a podcast about Amazon advertising. So yeah, we've talked about a lot of different topics about Amazon ads over there, and it's been super fun.
Yeah. So, you started Ad Badger in 2017. So, what is Ad Badger really? Like, can you just elaborate a little bit on that part?
So what we talk about internally is like Ad Badger is aiming to be the most helpful company in the Amazon advertising space. So we have a lot of different ways that we help. Number one is through the content that we produce. So trying to make a helpful piece of content every week about Amazon advertising is like step one. Step two is we also do PPC coaching. So we try to coach people one-on-one and develop like these 3-month arcs of like, what do we hope to accomplish or change about your business just through education. So meeting with them, coaching them, helping them think of SOPs for their business, that level of consulting. The next thing we do is, of course, we have Amazon advertising software, which
Okay.
we've been developing for some time. And then the last thing is, of course, we do the PPC management ourselves, which is mostly to keep our skills sharp so that we can use that intel into content, into our services, into our software.
Okay, that is great. So lately I was watching, I watch all of your episodes, okay, in Ad Badger.
Oh, right on.
Lately I was watching, yeah. So lately I was watching one of your episode, and there you were talking about, obviously Amazon is changing every day. Every now and then it is bringing on new strategies, new changes in their terms. So I was watching and I listened to this that you were talking about what are the mistakes maximum Amazon sellers are doing, because obviously you can see a lot of data along with the software and the clients you're managing. So would you like to tell us about the one mistake that is like comes in the top of your mind right now that maximum sellers or brands are doing right now
I've got it.
in terms of Amazon ads?
I've got it. This is probably the most common mistake, which is not being a detective. So what I mean by that is it pops up in so many ways, and I'll give you plenty of examples. So let's say someone is sitting around and their total ACOS goes in the wrong direction, right? It like goes up. understanding why it went up is vital. So what will happen a lot is like total ACOS goes up. Someone might run to the advertising slash budgets slash bids to make it go down. And it could have been that it wasn't an advertising issue at all. Maybe it was an organic issue. Maybe it was a new competitor. Maybe the season is slow. So like that's a perfect example of like picking up these like false positives. Like, why is the ACOS for this keyword high? Let me go lower the bid. When in actuality, maybe something happened. Maybe a product went out of stock. Maybe a competitor showed up. Maybe maybe the reviews went down for a particular keyword. And I feel like before any actions are made, it's helpful to understand why the data is telling you what it's telling you. And I feel like if you can crack that, you will be an expert level optimizer for sure.
Okay. So what you're trying to say is doing just by looking at the ACOS going very high, and sellers go and do unscheduled optimization that impacts the campaign performance over time, right? So tell us about one update that you really liked the most.
Oh, baby. I love this question because there's so many new things that happen in the Amazon advertising space all the time. So I think my favorite update of the year was the search query performance dashboard inside brand analytics, because it gives you finally true first party data. For such a long time, the workflow was, how do I approximate search volume? Let me go, plug into Helium 10 or Jungle Scout or things of that nature. Or how do I approximate my market share? Let me go use third-party tools. How many sales do I think X competitor is getting? Let me go, or all of my competitors, let me go use the third-party tool to approximate that. Or what do I think my share of orders for a particular keyword is? Use a third-party tool to try to approximate that. What's cool about the search query performance dashboard is that it gives you true first-party data for how many times something was searched. So it gives you search volume over time, week by week. How many orders were there for the entire industry from that keyword? How many orders did you have for that keyword? It'll actually tell you how you stack up in comparison to all of the people selling on Amazon. It tells you exactly where you land. And then what that allows you to do is it basically allows you, like in the beginning of the month, to say, here's a term that we think we should rank higher for. So like, I don't know, podcast microphone. We only had 5% of the sales. We think we should have more. So let's go do a bunch of activities. So like, let's go do, push it in a top of search single keyword campaign. Let's increase the budget for it. Let's go better optimize it for SEO for this keyword. And then you can see at the end of the month, okay, this is great because now we had 8% of the sales. It all paid off. And you can get even more granular and say, okay, that extra lift from 5% of the sales for the keyword in the entire market to 8% of the keywords, 8% of the sales for the entire market, I've actually paid for itself with my added PPC effort, right? Like we're always wondering if we're pushing PPC and we're sort of stepping on the gas and we're increasing order and we're redlining our ACOS. It's like, it's going to be worth it. Don't worry. This actually lets you measure that. Like, hey, if we push a keyword, single keyword campaign, top of search, big top of search placement bid, if we're doing all those things on PPC, does it pay for itself in this? So like that loop that I just described is such a fun loop to engage with because it tells you where you stack up in the entire market for a particular keyword. So I really love that feature.
Okay, yeah, totally agree on that part. Getting real data from Amazon side is like blessing to us.
Big time.
So yeah, another thing, I would like to be honest here. Either me or you or every Amazon seller or brand owner over their journey of selling on Amazon have done this small thing. Like they might have went to Google or YouTube and searched Amazon tips and tricks.
Sure.
I'm sure everyone must have done that.
Well, of course,
So
I have to search it because I got to give myself the views,
yeah, totally agree on that. actually talking to a lot of experts, and you have vault full of knowledge right now. So what is the one tip or trick you want to share with my audience right now?
That's a good one. I think an easy trick is
Yeah.
to look at search term impression share and use that and do this simple report. Somebody from the Ad Badger PPC team just shared this a few weeks ago, and I was like, that's amazing. Um, what you can do with the search term impression share report is basically map out, okay, for this term, take all of your terms where you have 0 to 10% impression share, 10 to 20% impression share, all the way up to 90 to 100% impression share, right? So that's one thing that we have. So then break down your sales and your orders by impression share bucket. So if you'll visualize this, we've got on the, in this table, we've got search term impression share buckets from low to high. Then we've got orders, and then we've got sales. So what this basically allows you to do is see your order count for terms grouped by their impression share. So what that allows you to do is basically say, I'm getting a lot of orders for like 20 to 30% impression share. The ACOS is great for 20 to 30% impression share. Why is it way down in 20 to 30% impression share? It should be way higher. So you can go back to that search term impression share report, filter for things in that search term impression range, and then amplify it. Be like, I need more traffic here. I'm getting a lot of sales, but not a lot of impressions. Finding that sweet spot, you're basically like turning up the volume on things that perform really well for you. So that is the way.
I think search impression share report was really a blessing for us as well, because for our clients, it is very necessary to know if we're competing for the keywords, how much impression is available in the market for that keyword. And if we are converting really well with a good ACOS on that, we should really go aggressive on that keyword.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that was a great tip that you have shared. So being an agency owner myself, so we own an agency called REGRO Media. We are a full service Amazon agency. So let's talk about Ad Badger software. So as an agency owner, how much helpful is it for me, or how much helpful it is for our clients? Can you just give a little bit of brief on that?
Sure. So agencies are probably our favorite people to have on the platform. We have like really nice agency pricing, so we don't bill per client. We don't bill per ad spend. So like people are able to put a lot of their clients on it and not feel like they're getting like nickel and dime. Because sometimes you might be in a situation you're like, I got an extra client. They're a small client. I don't want to put them on the software I'm using because they'll have to pay more. So we got rid of that, which our agency clients love. So I think the thing that what agencies like the most is actually bid optimization for like 90% of their keywords. So what I see a lot of agencies do, and of course the tool does a bunch of other stuff, but what I think our agencies like the most is that it's like bid management, automation for 90% of the keywords. So what I generally hear is like, like the algorithm works super well, but there's still going to be situations where I want to fine tune things. So like they want to go in and maybe they want to do big, changes just to like their top 10% most important keywords. So like they do quick manual optimization there. And then all of the low tier keywords, they're like, I want these bid optimized because like they should be, but I don't want to like comb over every single one of them. So that's one way that like one agency who's got like, it's like an absurd number. They have like 100 clients and they're on Ad Badger software. So like that's the thing that saves them a lot of time. Other things too is like viewing all of your keywords all at once, applying filters, and then doing bulk manual changes. So a lot of agencies use bulk files. So like they want to go download a bulk file, apply some kind of formula, and then like re-upload it. With Ad Badger, you're able to like click view all keywords. It loads in about 10, 15 seconds. You have all of your keywords. You can apply a filter. So like ACOS over 100%, select all, decrease bid by 20%. it's like, boom, you just took a process that you had to do in a bulk file. You made it a lot faster. Not worrying about negative keywords. That's pretty good too. You just set up some automations that runs in the background for you. So yeah, I would say those are some reasons why it's pretty tantalizing to agencies. We love agencies.
So we can figure out more on adbudget.com, right?
That's correct.
Okay. And you also do PPC management yourselves as well? Like you take clients?
We do take some clients. It's not our main thing, meaning it's not something we are focused on like hyper growing. What's kind of cool about it is like our PPC manager is like, we really just want each PPC manager to manage like a few clients. Like we're talking like 3 to 4 clients, just so they can stay hyper intimate with the techniques, the strategies. I mean, we manage campaigns manually. Like we're using every tool under the sun because we're trying to like find the very, very best way to do something, whether it be in a bulk file or whether it be in the default interface or some other tool or our tool. So we're trying to like really scrape, we're really trying to like go deep as possible into every technique. What's the best, most efficient, effective way to do it? And then like, how do we bake that into the tool? So like we have this like feedback loop going, and it's cool to be in that mindset where it's like, you know, we don't want our PPC managers to like have too many clients, because then like they won't have time to just basically like be a researcher. Like, what's the best way to get this done in order to move the needle the most?
So how is your client onboarding process looks like? Let's assume I'm a client. I want to get onboarded with you.
Yeah. So one thing we always do is like determine like what lane is best for them. So like, does the client want just coaching? Do they want services? Like, do they want us to manage it for them? Or do they want to use the tool? So we normally like we do talk with everyone who becomes a customer. So we talk with them to sort of discover like what lane they should be in. And then what we normally do is we wanted to do something also different that a lot of other tools don't do. So whether they're starting with coaching services or the software, we always have an onboarding call where it's like, what do you hope to accomplish? What have you tried? What are you struggling with? And like everyone gets some level of consultation. So everyone gets some FaceTime with one of our PPC managers to basically like think of the roadblocks, give them experience share. So like, oh, somebody else had the same kind of issue. This is what helped them. Or like, oh, like we talk about this on this episode. Or we're just trying to give them that sort of like high touch experience that we think is unique here at AdBadger. So like really trying to discover like, what are they struggling with? How can we help them? Is like a big part of what we do. Like we really try to like touch every customer's experience of like, what are you trying to accomplish? How can we help? What can we share with you? What can we do? A good example is we had an onboarding call for the software, and the customer was just looking for something that was a little unique. And we're like, we don't have that in the tool. No one's ever requested it. So we're probably not going to build it. Okay. And it doesn't exist in any tool. Let us show you how to do it in a bulk file as quick as possible. So like the client was super stoked about it. So like doing a lot of that, I think is a unique AdBadger quality.
I mean, that is good. That is great. So that was about AdBadger software. Now let's come a little bit on the PPC side. So do you still believe when it comes to product launch, we can still focus on only PPC launch, or we need to go for the other traffic sources as well?
Bro, when was it ever true that you can only focus on PPC? No, what I would say is no. I think anyone who views PPC as the silver bullet, that the one thing that they need to do is going to have a hard time. So like we just rolled out a new service. We do Google ads to Amazon listings because it's like some other way to get traffic to those listings, to boost it, to like amplify it, to like send all the positive signals. So yeah, PPC is like one tool in an overall tool set that people really need to focus on. And there's so many other things to worry about. So like that's where I think I see this a lot with solopreneurs. They're strapped for
Hmm.
time. They are doing everything themselves. So it's almost like they're running a marathon and then somebody throws a weight on their back. That's like the SEO weight. And then somebody throws like the PPC weight. And then like that's more weight added to them. Then they add like, oh, you should be running Google ads, more weight. Oh, you should have an email
Yeah.
list. That's more weight. And it becomes so difficult to run that marathon. So like finding systems, finding whether it be tools, finding people to work with, finding anything to offload some of that so that you become like the CEO of the company as opposed to like the person who's doing absolutely everything. I think that's like a vital step that a lot of people need to take in order to scale. Like, what are you really good at? What are you energized by? What can you hand off? So, yeah, I think an easy value add, running Google ads to your Amazon listing, focusing on SEO, like if you have building an email list, doing some influencer marketing, like the biggest companies, the most successful clients we have are doing many things, not just PPC.
Yeah, I think the traffic needs to come from different signals, right? Different sources.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that was a deep explanation that you have given. That was great. So, Michael, that was a great discussion with you. So we will not do this, stretch this interview any longer. But where can people find you?
Yeah, I think the easiest place is adbadger.com to learn more about us. I post pretty frequently on LinkedIn, including my
Yeah.
Friday PPC meme. So
Okay.
if you like these concepts and you want them in a fun way, we always like publish our new content on Friday, and I'm always like, gotta have a PPC meme. So yeah, LinkedIn is a good spot too.
Okay. I think, yeah, guys, you can follow and watch Ad Badger podcast. It is really valuable. Also, you can go check out adbadger.com to more about the software and all the details that we have discussed today. So, Michael, that was a great discussion. We will again bring you on our future shows. So, thank you so much for joining in our show. Do you have anything that you want to share to my audience?
Just thank you so much, Sammy, for having me on. This was super fun.
Okay. Thank you, Michael. Thank you so much. I'll see you again.
Thank you. Bye bye.